Great. Welcome to High Africa Podcast.
Thank you.
Cool. So today, in this episode, we have Tikhala Mbedza from Yellow Card. Do you forgive me if I say yellow solar at some point? Because your brands have yellow at the ends with something else. But Yellow Card. So I'm excited today because we're going to talk about crypto, compliance, and scaling across Africa. And maybe the sharing lessons from Yellow Card. So it's going to be one of those interesting ones. And in this episode, we talk about Yellow Card and how it's shaping Africa's fintech future, overcoming compliance hurdles, and giving Africans access to the global crypto finance opportunities. So in this episode, we sit down with someone who has been at the heart of digital finance services in Malawi and now leads one of Africa's hottest crypto startups. I think Yellow Card is the hottest in terms of crypto.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we are.
I think you have simplified the crypto buying and selling just like that.
We're 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I think so. So from Hello Paisa to Yellow Card, Tikhala Mbedza has witnessed and shaped the growth of fintech in this market. Today, he takes us behind the curtains of what it really takes to launch and scale crypto services across Africa. Is that a good intro for you?
Well, yeah, I would say I'm humbled. But yeah, it kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, good man. Welcome to this chat. You and I met for the first time during the Tech Tuesday. Remember that day?
100%.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Arthur, who is, I don't know which episode it is, but Arthur Miepa was having these engagements like Tech Tuesdays, and he paired me with him to do a talk about technology. He was talking about the product that Yellow Card is pushing in Malawi, but I was talking about, I don't even know what I was talking about at this point. But it was good talking to you, and we exchanged numbers, and I've always liked to see what you're doing with the work that you're doing. But anyway, let's start with your story. How did you start? Like, how did you get to work with Yellow Card?
Well, how I started working with Yellow Card, I think it's quite simple and straightforward. I would say I was quite mature in the field, the fintech field, as you already explained. But my journey into the fintech space started when I just finished my university at the University of Malawi.
Yeah.
I finished my university in 2015.
Yeah.
My graduation was supposed to be in 2016, or rather it was in 2016. But before I graduated, I was one of the few lucky ones to get a job, a permanent job, before I even graduated.
Wow.
So, long story short, I got a job with Hello Paisa at the point with zero experience in the field.
Yeah.
Really, of course, other than maybe doing internships while I was still in university, which were not pretty much fintech related, but I mean, it showed that I was quite a busy student. Being part of different organizations at the university, and from different, I mean, be it sports, be it I've worked for Chanko Radio before.
Yeah.
So that's the university's radio, community radio station.
Okay.
So those proactive initiatives, I think that's what helped me get the Hello Paisa job, because at that particular point they were looking at somebody who would be trainable. Right, somebody who looks that he's curious. I believe I quite fitted into that. So 2016 March 7th, exactly the date, I got offered, or rather to start the job, and my job started with a plane ticket and the hotel reservation to South Africa.
Serious?
For a training, right? So
Wow.
you can imagine just
The excitement.
fresh graduates into this space. So the rest is history. I was with Hello Paisa for about 4 or 5 years since 2016. So I think I started off as a customer service executive. So that's pretty much marketing, sales, and then I transitioned into operations. Up until I was the local director and an executive, of course, at the point for the company in Malawi, because we had now to register it in Malawi. Because initially we were just doing partnerships, which I also, quite frankly, did quite tremendous work in that space.
Setting up that.
So from there, I think with that experience, it was quite easy to now get the job at Hello Pace at Yellow Card, where I am now as a country manager for Malawi. Right. I think with the experience of setting up a startup from the ground up, transitioning into different positions, that's kind of gives me the ability to also fit well into this role that I am at the moment.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm learning from there, which I think so many of the young people would learn, is proactiveness. Being proactive when you're in the university, being proactive wherever you are, because that builds who you are. And sometimes it's not about I have worked here and there. It's about I am ready and trainable. You spoke about being trainable.
Exactly.
That's
100%. 100%. You'd be surprised to learn that actually my background from the education doesn't even have to do anything with finance.
Yes.
If I tell you to guess which course would you say I studied at University of Malawi?
Because you were at Chanko,
Yeah.
and we spoke about that before we start shooting.
Yeah.
My assumption was maybe you did computer science.
Yeah, either computer science, maybe economics.
Economics.
Far from it.
Serious?
I studied Bachelor of Arts in Communication and Cultural Studies.
Serious?
Oh, yes. And my major was public relations.
Ah, wow.
Yeah.
But you see how you pivoted and to do finance.
Exactly. Your degree doesn't really have to define your life.
path,
It could. I mean, there's professional degrees that people do. But for me, even to choose that course, for me, it has to be... I have to be a free bird. I can go. I don't want to be limited, right?
Yeah.
Because with communication, with publication, you can do whatever. You can be whatever you want.
Can be whatever you want.
So the 4 years in my university, what it taught me is that I can take the pressure. I can meet deadlines. I can learn and do, right? So that's pretty much was it for me.
Amazing. And now you are the should I call you country director for Malawi?
No, I'm the country manager.
Country manager. They call you country manager,
Yes.
not director.
No.
Ask for it.
No, because we do, for any international company to be registered, it has to have a director. We do have a director, local director, non-executive.
Non-executive, of course.
But yeah, and there's a reason why we called country managers, because initially when I started in 2021 in the role, we were called operations managers. And then like from all the countries that we are available in, we are operations managers. And that had to change, I think, a year or so later to country managers because of the type of the role that they are looking for.
Yeah.
You're not just doing operations.
Ops, you are doing a lot.
You're wearing different hats. You have to look at the legal in the country. You have to look at compliance and all sorts of things. That's why we moved from operations to country manager role.
But I remember I did a job at some point, and I was country manager as well. I started asking them, is there a way for us to negotiate so I can be country director? I need that on my CV. But yeah, it's good. Country manager is too powerful because you are managing a country.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like it's the same. But anyway, excited to have you because I know we're going to talk a lot about that space. So yeah, let's dive into it. What is Yellow Card? What does it do?
Well, I think in the simplest of terms, Yellow Card is stable coin and payments orchestrator or infrastructure.
Yeah.
Right. We are the largest and the first licensed stable coins on and off ramp on the African continent.
Yeah.
Right. So people are able to buy or sell, right, stable coins using Yellow Card. I'm mentioning stable coins. Of course, generally it's crypto, right?
Yeah, it's crypto. Yeah.
And initially started with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies that are there. But if you can see where I'm getting or going with this, I'm mentioning stable coins. There's a reason to that because major part of our business is stable coins, right? Over 90% of our business, I would say even 99% of our business is stable coins rather than the speculative crypto
currencies.
Yes.
Okay, amazing. And I think so your unique offer is what? I would say because I'm also registered on Yellow Card.
Yes.
I have my account there. I keep checking it every day to see how my account is growing.
Yes.
Growing steady. I wish I had deposited more. Yeah, so tell me about your unique selling point because I think I have an idea, but I want you to say it. What is it that you bring in that other companies specifically that are working in this space that they don't see in these markets?
Well, I think let me begin by saying that there's different aspects to our business, right? What you're referring to should be our consumer products,
Yeah.
right? With our consumer product, we do offer an exchange platform,
Yeah.
right? Which is an app. It's available on Android, on Apple. You can download that. Once you download, you have to go through the registration process.
Yeah.
Do your KYC.
Yeah.
Right. And then with that, you're able to buy. Number one, you're able to deposit your kwacha, right? Using, say, there's two different methods for the Malawi market.
Yeah.
You can either deposit kwacha using mobile money, Airtel money, or TNM Pamba, or even your bank account. Of course, bank account takes longer than the instant mobile money transfer into Yellow Card.
Yeah.
And then with that money, you can buy the stable coins that we rather the cryptocurrencies that we list on our platform, including the stable coins I'm mentioning about. So once you buy, it's up to you. Like you're saying, maybe you just hold and then see how once Kwacha devalues a little bit, you see a gain to your portfolio, right?
Yeah.
Or you can decide to maybe send that money out. Maybe you want to send somebody across the border, right? Because I mean this asset we're talking about, it's global, right?
Yeah.
It knows no borders. You can send it across. But from that product of consumer on their platform, our unique selling point obviously is the on and off ramp, because there's different wallets that you can find in Malawi, right? You can access those international platforms, right? But the difference is with Yellow Card, you'd see that we have the option of on and off ramping, because you can get, say, a wallet X, but they don't offer you a solution whereby you can deposit money or you can convert your stable coins or cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, whatever it is, back into your fiat currency. So there's no really use case there. So we bring the use case, the actual practical use case to the consumer. I would say that's our unique selling point from the consumer product.
Okay, so two things there. When you say on and off ramp, can you break that down? That's a technical term for me.
All right. So on and off ramp, it simply means to be able to deposit, right? So money as you know it, kwacha, you would be able to deposit it into your platform, your Yellow Card platform. That's on ramping.
Okay.
So you're putting money into the app.
Yeah.
So once you put the money into the app, you do that for different purposes, like I already alluded to earlier.
Yeah.
It's either you want to safeguard it just to cushion against inflation
and so forth.
or you want to remit it right away somewhere else, right? So you on ramp the money. But there's also another scenario whereby maybe you've received, say, from the US, somebody sends you 10,000 USDD. It's a type of USDD is a type of a stable coin, and then the question is how am I going to access it? Because you don't go into ShopRite and buy 10 USDD worth of bread.
You don't.
But you need kwacha. So how do you do that? Then you have to convert that USDD into kwacha. You can be able to do that on Yellow Card, and you can off ramp or withdraw that money out of your platform.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You say there's a user offer, like which is the one that the app that I have, for instance. What's the other business that you guys do?
Yes. So now I think there's been our product range has been evolving over time, right? Maybe let me just take you back a little bit on how this company started up.
Yeah, that would be a good story to hear. Yeah.
Because Yellow Card was started by two co-founders, Chris and Justin. They're US based. So the company is registered in the US. But has footprint across Africa. We are in over 20 African countries now. But what we're trying to serve is mostly the emerging markets. So you'd find us in Asia, India, or South Latin America. So I think we're servicing, and as in the introduction, I mentioned that we are a payments orchestrator. So we are settling in over 40 countries at the moment, right, across the globe.
Wow.
So how it initially started was our CEO, Chris, had met with a Nigerian back in the US. That's somewhere around 2015, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, or before that. So what was happening was this gentleman, a Nigerian in America, wanted to send money back home. And then the money was $200. So he was doing this in a bank. and then somehow they had to converse, and then talking about how the transaction is being done.
The experience, yeah.
Yeah. So out of the $200, you'd see that $90 had to go into fees, exchange, whatever it is. So the mother of this gentleman in Nigeria only gets what? 110. And like, wow, now that doesn't make sense.
Too much,
It's almost half the amount that you're sending is going into fees and all that. I think it doesn't make sense. And for him, at the moment, he had been introduced to the crypto world. And I think at that particular point in time, what was most common was the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So with that, long story short, they tried to build a software or a system or an infrastructure that can help facilitate such type of a transfer at a very effective way, right? It should be faster because they know the power of crypto. They, at the moment or at that particular time, knew how practical, how fast, effective a transaction by Bitcoin would be compared to this. Because with Bitcoin, the fees are almost zero, right?
Yeah.
Or they're very minimal.
The minimal, yeah.
But now the question was, if we send Bitcoin, so if this gentleman, for example, from Nigeria sends $200 to their mother in Bitcoin, of what use would it be?
Because they won't be able to liquidate it and get it into action.
Yes, that's where now the idea of creating something that people can offer and withdraw, convert their Bitcoin and have it in a practical use case came about. So it started, the company was started with Nigeria in 2019, and then it spread across African continent. As we speak, over 20 African countries now, that's where we established, right? So that's pretty much where we started from. But we've seen a transition now more into the settlement or treasury business, right?
Okay.
We have different businesses so for example, if it's a food store or if it's people in the food business, their business is food, right? They don't want to break their heads on treasury management.
Yeah.
And then with the emerging markets that I mentioned, there's issues. Malawi would be a good example. We've seen people closing shop because they are failing to manage transactions, right? With the scarcity of the dollar, what do they do? So our treasury management comes in to solve that problem, whereby now we're working with corporates, even now banks, to manage their treasury, right? Whereby we will be able to facilitate cross-border transfers that are facilitated by the stable coins. Yes.
No, amazing. I think these solutions are available in different countries, specifically in the West. But what you've done is you've localized it within the African continent, to where transacting using crypto has been a bit of a challenge. And I know people are always saying, can I send you USDT? And you're like, okay, but I don't have an account. X, Y, Z.
Yep.
And I think you have made it simple.
Yep.
The other thing that I can say, based on my experience, is being able to use Kwacha to buy USDT, which is very difficult. Which other way can you use? That's the thing. It's like, I'm here, I have like, let's say I have 1 billion Malawi Kwacha, and I want to have it in USDT, or I want to send to someone else.
Yep.
That's a difficult discussion.
Yes.
With the scarcity of Forex and so forth.
100%.
But you have that kind of option.
Yeah.
And I think I was attracted by that, by that fact that you can do that.
Yeah.
And that was a good idea. And I think I was just checking here that Yellow Card has raised $85 million under 3 rounds. And you guys have processed a volume of over $6 billion US dollars. Wow. Big company, man. Big company.
Oh, actually, yeah, we we're a startup, right? Like I'm telling you how we started.
Yeah, it's not.
But we're a big startup.
But a big startup. Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Anyway, what has been the traction in Malawi?
Well, it's I would say it beat my expectation.
Yeah.
Right. And for any new product, what facilitates or accelerates its adoption is the use case. If there's is it solving a problem, right? Is your product solving a problem? If the answer is yes, people adopt it. So there's a need. There's a need here in Malawi, and we are seeing quite good traction over the years. Since 2021, when we launched in Malawi, 4 years down the line, we are seeing quite a good traction and adoption in this space. Yeah.
Amazing, man. One of the big issue with startups, one, is trust. And I want to hear how you're dealing with that, because there are so many rug pulls that have happened in the crypto space, specifically spaces where people, they're speculative, of course, speculative currencies where they would want you, they'll create a project, they want you to deposit a lot of money or whatever money that you deposit, and then the owners of the project, they just disappear with all the money. And one of the challenges that has been there is where do you back, or how do you back the transactions? Because essentially the way banks work, from my understanding, is that banks have what we call a reserve, right? And whatever that you guys are operating is basically numbers, but is tagged to that reserve within the database, and it's able to update. And essentially, if everyone would go, for instance, today, and we want to go to Standard Bank and say, we just want to get all our money, Standard Bank will crash. Because they don't operate in that space of giving you all the money, but they operate with a minimum, a reserve where they can maintain those balances. And one of the big issue in crypto, as far as I know, has been managing the reserve and ensuring that people are able to access. I've seen projects that have crashed. Most of them have crashed because of that lack of reserve. When maybe there was a speculation that maybe the things are about to crash, so people just want to rush and get their money, and then the project is failing even to give people any of the money. I know with Yellow Card, one of the biggest things that you have had is the ability to raise money and people trusting this platform, which is a big thing. Because that essentially gives you that kind of basis for trust. But how do you deal with the trust? Specifically in markets like Malawi, where everyone think Bitcoin is a scam, everyone think even stable currencies, they don't even understand the difference between stable coins and the speculative coins. How do you deal with trust as you're building, as you're scaling the product?
Well, you're right. In any financial product, the issue of trust becomes everything. It's the key to unlocking any market or any space and as far as finances is concerned, right? So for us, yes, number one, to our finances, the venture capitalists, number one, they had to see a product that works, and we were able to portray that and to build that trust for them to show, because we showcased before people started investing in the business. It was already launched, because the 3 cities that you're talking about that amounted to 85 million happened way after the product was already launched, and it showed that there's usability, there's product fit, market fit for the product, right? So I mean, that part could be easy, but trusting the end user, maybe that could be something that you really need to work on. But for us, it's quite easy and simple, as you've rightly put. Us working as an exchange, we don't get people's money and say, for example, we get money from Malawian users. Say people have deposited 100 million Malawi kwachas, and then with 100 Malawi kwachas that people have deposited, let's go and run around look for the crypto, right? No, we don't work like that. We have reserves. Right? We have reserves. So without being any technical or going into the technical details about it, we do hold all the assets that we sell. Right? So
that's a powerful element of that. Because I know projects that will say, they'll indicate their money, right? But they don't actually have the reserve.
No. So we are an exchange, pure. We're exchanging. You're giving us your money, kwacha, we're giving you the asset that you want. You can't buy an asset that we don't have, right?
True.
You're giving us an asset, we are giving you
something.
So we are in exchange. We are not creating even the coins. It's not like we're saying we're creating a coins, come and invest in it. We are not an investment firm in any way. We are by far that. We are an exchange, pure exchange, and we do exchange business.
Cool. That's good. How much can you get if I have 20 billion Malawi kwacha? Can you absorb it? Or you have a limitation in this market?
Well, when I spoke earlier about having corporate clients, having the other side of the business apart from the consumers, we do take bigger volume, right? But with the way Malawi is set up, we don't promise unlimited availability because of obviously we're also affected with the scarcity. Of course, I mean we do have reserves like I mentioned, but the questions will comes back down to, because we are working on as an exchange. If we get 20 billion from you now, do we have the counter side that would we are requiring the same? Because we are sitting in the middle. Other people want to sell their assets. Other people want to buy, right? And by the way, Yellow Card did not bring crypto into Malawi, right? It only made it official.
Yes.
Or created a platform that works. So there were already people selling and buying and wanting a solution that's better, that's safer for them, and that's what Yellow Card came in and did.
True. I think I was doing a project with UNDP Malawi. We're trying to support Malawi in terms of how they can set up shop when it comes to blockchain opportunities, but also the other side was to look into issues of finance. And then what came in mind that time, I referred them to you. I don't know if the consultant came to you to talk about what you're doing as a use case to show why the country has to maybe update some of its regulation when it comes to crypto to benefit as many people as possible. But yeah, you made it easy for people to get into the space of crypto. I remember a while ago, that was 2017 or earlier, it should be 15. Oh, people lost money. People lost money. I know of people that lost so much money with some of the Russian businesses. Some of the projects were, of course, Africa-based, but people invest a lot of money. So what they would do is they would get more money in the process and giving people money in exchange. So you put money today, that in the next month, you find that your money has doubled.
Yes.
And you got a lot of people to invest in that, and later on, all the money vanishes.
Yes.
And yeah, it was a weird time until you came. And I'm not marketing for you guys, but I'm just saying that how important it is to regulate spaces and make sure that you have a legit business. So I want to talk about compliance. How do you manage KYC? I've gone through your process, but I still want you to say for the sake of our audience, because one of the big issues in buying crypto is about knowing who you are. And I think people say everyone else who's within the chain, specifically who's transacting the space, they're not known. And as such, you can just lose money anywhere. Why is it important for Yellow Card to do the KYC, and how do you do a KYC, and how does it help to safeguard people and trust?
No, that's very, very good. And you've mentioned, I think, 3 or 2 important points in your statement. I would like to speak to number 1, the issue of scams that have been going around in terms of crypto, right? But I would want to generalize them, because what you gave as an example, it's a pyramid scheme. And that was very common. And
at some point.
Crypto didn't bring that one up.
It has been there.
So people were depositing these monies through Bamba Bank, right? And money disappeared, right? Crypto didn't bring that. We hear stories about inmates scamming people, right? Through Airtel money, right? But sometimes, I mean, somehow when it's a scam or a scheme that has gone through crypto, it would want to be attached so much to this crypto side of it, rather than a matter of that people were just scammed, right? Because what I'm trying to say is scam happen everywhere in the financial. As long as you're in the financial institution, we've seen people losing their money in the banks. We've seen people losing money in mobile monies, right? This happen everywhere. The system, the cryptocurrency system, is quite watertight, right? And it's straightforward if you know what you're doing. But what people take advantage of is the lack of education in the societies, and then they try to, because people don't understand crypto, they want to cruise through the explanations and they just tell them that you make money out of it.
I think that's what has been sold over time.
So my advice is always, if it sounds too good to be true, it most likely is too good to stay away from it. There's no way, money is not made easy. There's no way somebody can tell you that you deposit 100,000 today, tomorrow, or in a week you get double, 3, 4, 5 times that money. If it was that easy, everybody would have done it, right? And if somebody could increase money like that, why can't they just increase it their own money? Why do they need your money, right? So let's find proper means of making money. Simple. A person who can be scammed through crypto can be scammed through bank,
money,
anything.
and
so
everything else.
As consumers, you need to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself. Coming to the issue of compliance, regulation, it's very interesting, right? Because coming into markets, a market in general like Africa was quite a tall order. As you know how this type of regulations have to be developed, have to be put in play. It's not easy, especially in these parts of the world. But anyway, this was started, and yes, we've tried to come around it, successful mostly in the parts that we are in. So you would see that in other countries there's regulatory regimes of virtual assets. Like I mentioned earlier, we are the first licensed stablecoin company or virtual asset service provider on the continent, and we got that license in Botswana, because Botswana has a license regime. And by the way, Botswana is just next to it's well, not next door neighbor, but it's our neighbor. We're within the same region. Right. Recently, we have acquired a license in South Africa for virtual assets service provider, the VASP license. VASP meaning virtual asset service provider. In Zambia, for example, there's what we participated in what is called a sandbox. Sandbox is a test environment. So the regulator doesn't yet regulate the space, but it's saying, okay, no, we know you are here. We don't want to chase you out. We want to embrace the technology, but help us understand it. So we sit with the regulator, and then they'll tell you, if this is ABCD, what we're expecting you to give us for us to understand the product better. How are you doing this? Can you do this? So it's like you're learning together with the regulators. So we participated in that and we graduated in that. I think in Zambia now we're just waiting for them to come up with a stance on how they are going to regulate, to what extent, how the modality is going to be right? In markets like Malawi, there's completely zero regulation at the moment. We still take a proactive role, right? We go to the regulators, because they need to know who we are, right? Because we want to work with them. And having the experience worked with others in the other markets, we know how the regulation at least should look like, right? And we offer our help to shape the regulatory space in countries like Malawi. So as we speak, we are in contacts with Reserve Bank. We've been in contacts with the Financial Intelligence Agency. You mentioned a project that UNDP was doing. I believe that was called it was called blockchain readiness,
assessment,
right? Assessment. We participated in the same, and actually a few weeks ago we were in Sarima in the validation workshop of the same, right? So Yellow Card was key contributor in that, right? And before that, we also participated in the Virtual Asset Risk Assessment, National Risk Assessment. That was jointly conducted by the Financial Intelligence Agency and the Reserve Bank in conjunction or coordinated by the Ministry of Finance. And we also did a validation report for the same, a result of which I think, as communicated by the Ministry of Finance, they are going to draft a policy, right? For the same, and then submit it to the cabinet before, I think, end of this quarter. So, I mean, we can see the traction that's happening there, and we are happy to be part of these conversations. We want to help. We want to be in a space that's regulated, because that protects everyone. It protects us as players on the market. It protects the consumers. It gives confidence of the product. How does it help us? It helps us in a sense that we know that, or to what extent regulation is there. Because, I mean, where we're sitting now, one day the regulator can wake up and then say, we'll close shop, we don't want you here. We are banning crypto, right? In such a market, there would be limited investment. We would be investing cautiously. But in a market where we know that there's regulation clarity, there's a probability, a high probability whereby we can even invest more and then grow the space, which would be good for everyone, right?
Amazing.
And since we're talking about regulation, I don't know if you were just recently, the US did pass a bill, an act. It's called the Genius Act, right? The Genius Act is a regulation. It's the first of its kind that is regulating stable coins, and not cryptocurrency, but stable coins.
Stable coins.
So the passage of the Genius Act, for me, it actually signals, right, the recognition of the stable coins role as a legitimate player in the financial space, because now with that it's global, because I mean it's America, right, and the trends that are happening in America tend to affect
all the countries.
So yes, with that, I believe also we're going to see a lot of traction in this, because this industry, I tell you, has a propensity of becoming a multi-trillion industry.
Yeah, it is. I think fiat, as we know it, has been losing the battle to an extent. So crypto, specifically if you're working with stable coins, right? Essentially, it provides that kind of alternative.
Yeah.
And of course, the transparency that it provides is what you want to see in transactions and dealing with money laundering and the rest of it as part of the process. As part of the question that I asked you about KYC and how you do it. I want you to go back to that and speak to why it is important to KYC people that use apps, because what you get with unverified users is what you get with most of these rug pulls, but also most of these sketchy projects that end up killing trust that is supposed to build an industry. Yeah. So speak to me about the KYC process.
Yeah, so you're right. In compliance, in the financial space, KYC is very important. Know your customer, right? So though we are not mandated by the regulators in Malawi specifically, but we have to adapt to global standards, because I mean we're operating globally. So what we do is we need we have a tier system, for example, on our platform, right? For basic users, right? Would give a minimum. So it's a limit based tiers, right? Based on the type of documentation or KYC documentation that you've rendered. So, for example, if you give us your ID, which we know we can be able to track, your national ID, and then basic
information,
you transact it to a certain amount. I think 1 million at the moment.
Yeah.
If you go up to the ladders, I think at Qatar 2 you can do up to 10 million. But at that,
or a month?
In a day.
Okay.
And at that point, we would need you to provide us with proof of address. And with proof of address, it's quite tricky for a market like Malawi, right?
Yeah.
Whereby
the address system is not clear.
It is not rare. It is not rather. Yeah. Because for banks, which I understand, I don't understand how they manage that, because if I go to the bank and they want to get my proof of address,
they'll just say draw.
They'll say draw, number one, which you can draw anywhere. Right? And then for documentation purposes, they say bring us a bill, and then you tell them that I'm staying at a rented place. But that rented place, it can also be anything. That can never be a true proof of address for you. Yeah. So for us, it becomes difficult because we have to do something that makes sense. So stick to a utility bill. If it's a utility bill that you're giving us, that bears your name. Right? Because with the utility bill that bears your name, even if somebody rents that house from you, we know that we can be able to track you with that
through other
players.
Yeah.
If in absence of that, we would maybe need an affidavit signed by a commissioner of wards, right, as a proof of address. But we are quite strict, or we are quite aggressive on KYC, because we need to know our customers, because that becomes very important to us. And if you're going further down the line, we even need to know source of proof of income, right? We can have that through your bank statement mostly, right? Yeah, or a letter from your workplace, or even a pay slip. Yeah. So we need to know that if you want to adjust from transacting, say 1 million to 10 million, what justifies that, right?
Yeah.
So
it has to be that.
It has to be, because we are trying to curb people coming in that are not are trying to hide, or are trying to bring in funds that cannot be explained.
Yes.
So we go through all that. We have to do PEP, right? Politically exposed people screening. We have to do that. So even the names have to go on international sanctions list, right? So our system does that. So KYC becomes very important to us. And like you said, all transactions that are happening on our platform, they are traceable, they are trackable. Like we know that this particular person has bought X amount. We have all this data for compliance purposes in terms of, so we are future ready for the regulation. In other words, that's what we're trying to say.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You're future ready for compliance. Important to always be future ready because the market is going to change and even regulation is going to change. The work that other partners, developing partners are doing, private sector companies like yourselves are doing is going to build up to some regulation of some sort, and obviously KYC is going to be a big issue in that space. So you're doing good. I want to talk about challenges in the African market. I know Eurocard has built itself as a strong partner for Africa, which is a good thing, because the problem maybe was identified within the continent through the story I've shared of Nigeria. I want to understand the kind of challenges you've dealt with. And I know you can't speak from the founders, but you work in this market, you join these global meetings, you've seen the kind of challenges that you're dealing with. What has been the challenges of working in this continent as part of growth?
Yeah, you're right. Going into a market, as if you see on the UN lists of countries that are hard to do business with or to develop, and then you just flip the list down, up or down.
Yeah.
That's where you'd see that those markets, that's where we are in.
Yeah.
So it has not been easy. That's my point. Number one, I would mention issue of regulation, because being a financial product for consumers to trust, because if especially in the early days, when you mention about your product to a newbie, the question would not miss, okay, are you regulated? Do you have a Reserve Bank license? Right? Even up to date, if somebody hears that you don't have a license, right, it somehow sounds like illegal. You know? So there's a difference between regulation and illegality, right? There's no, for example, any law that criminalizes the use of cryptocurrency in Malawi. But it is not regulated.
It's not regulated. So these are two different things.
They are two different things. So to differentiate the two in such a space, I think it becomes a problem. And then that also becomes a problem with even acceleration of adoption of corporate or institutional clients to come into the space, right? Because for them, they would want to deal with somebody that is regulated.
You just don't have stuff.
For example, the Genius Act I'm talking about coming from the America, I think that will also that type of regulatory clarity will help accelerate the adoption of institutional clients, right? But in the absence of that, I think that becomes a problem. The other thing becomes of awareness. So you're bringing into a product into a market whereby you not only have to product, or rather to market your product, but first you have to tell the people that what your product is, and then you have to tell them that they need it, right?
Yes,
because they've never heard about it. So awareness also, it becomes it becomes a challenge. But I think that over time kinda sorts itself out. Like I mentioned earlier, I think was as long as your product is solving a certain problem, it's going to be, the adoption is going to be tremendous. It's going to be amazing. So that's what we've seen. So awareness, regulation, I think those are some of the major challenges that I see in the setting up in the African continent and markets like Malawi.
Okay. You see, Africa is not one country. And I think for our people that are checking this episode, maybe from other continents, that might be that kind of information they need to know. Africa is not one country. And I think when you talk about regulation, you're dealing with like 54, right? Countries with their unique needs, right? I don't know what is your strategy of engaging with governments. One, to show them that activity is already happening. What we're trying to do is to help you that people should not lose money, because people are losing money in some of these rug pulls that are happening, right? But we have a company that is well backed with resources, but also investors, has a good reputation, and you can bank on it. how has been your strategy to engage with governments? Because that's an interesting area, and for others that are building products as well, they would want to hear what kind of strategy. Because once you think in multi-country, it becomes a bit of a challenge. Sometimes just build a product and say, okay, fine, let people just find it online. But when you want to have a physical presence, when you want to do some of these things, you want to still have that kind of relationship. What kind of strategy has the company used from what you know?
Yeah, so I think bottom line or key is make yourself known, right? Make yourself known. Be proactive.
Yeah.
You should be regulatory proactive. Okay, don't come if it's a space, because I mean even a few years ago, all right, we didn't have mobile money, for example, right?
Yeah.
Even the remittances space, it's fairly new.
Very new, yeah.
Right? Regulation had to be made for the same, right? There was a time, I believe, I'm sure, that if somebody tells you you have to go at that small box by the road and deposit 2 million waja, nobody would say you're mad. I can't do that, right? Money goes into a bank.
Yeah.
So, but over time, people get to trust it, right? And they had to go through the same phases that even this technology is going through.
Yeah.
Because remember, there was a big backlash from the banks. No, they're going to take over the financial system, you know, this and that. But with proactiveness and reaching out to the regulators and working together, that's how they managed to do it. And that's the same approach we're pretty much taking. Because like I mentioned, in markets where we don't have regulatory regimes, we go and we meet the regulators. We tell them, this is our business plan. And this is who we are. This is how we do it. Even if any stories come to them about us, they already know who to call, right? They're not regulating us, but yeah, we've had issues that, okay, hey, Mr. Mbeza, can we meet up? Can we talk about this? You know, we even with the regulators, that's happening already, right? I remember in one of the conversation sit-downs we have had with the regulator, the question was asked, who's your maybe competition that you're seeing? And my answer was simple. Our biggest competition is the unofficial market.
The unofficial market, because these transactions are happening.
They're already happening.
Every day.
Yellow Card did not bring it. We are just trying to organize it.
it.
Because if you come to us and you tell us who are your customers, we'll show you. What are the transactions that they are doing, we'll show you. But in the transactions that are happening on WhatsApp, that are happening on Telegram, there's no way of you finding out. Yes.
Wow. True. That's a good way to show. And I think once governments see that people are already transacting, when it comes to crypto, people are already transacting, people are already doing things, they're doing each other dating, specifically on Telegram, disappearing, and all these things. The best way is to find a way to organize the market and prepare for regulation. Don't over-regulate it, create room for innovation, but find a way to say, we want to see what is happening. 100%. We want to be preview of that kind of information. 100%. There's something that I wanted to ask you, and this is more to do with the opportunities. Higher Africa, the brand, for us, we believe in opportunities, specifically for the youth, because we know the youth are at a stage that are looking at opportunities. And being in Africa sometimes feels like a curse, right? Because things are hard to find. Opportunities are not available as you would want them. That's why there's a lot of brain drain. People moving out of Africa, going to other continents and benefiting those continents and not developing Africa. What do you see as opportunities that blockchain and crypto brings, specifically for young people that are trying to develop?
You see, this is the adoption of crypto. I don't know if you are aware about this, but the biggest adoption is happening in Africa rather than any other part of the world.
Serious?
Yes. So we're talking about the Genius Act that's been passed in
America, but the way it's influencing activity here.
They have only done it now, but activity has started happening in the African continent like way back.
Yeah. So,
for example, somebody who is in America doesn't have a need of a digital dollar, because these stable coins, I see them as digital dollars.
Yes, because it's essentially a digital dollar.
It's not digital money like we know it, like it's digital dollar, virtual money, but virtual dollar, right? It's one-on-one with a dollar. So somebody in America, they don't have a really need for the digital dollar. But access of the same in our continent is hard. That's where people are actually using the use case, the actual use case. So my advice is, let's not be scared of the technology. There's a big opportunity in this space, and I know from experience and being in the space that there's greater traction that's happening. And as the youth in these markets, it is our chance to jump at this ship, because it's sailing. There's only one
whether you like or not.
There's only one direction this is going. I'm saying we are having big conversations in other markets with big banks, right?
Yeah.
Talking about these stable coins. We know this is happening. Recently, JP Morgan's, the Bank of America, mentioning about creating their own stable coins, because with the coming of the act as well, this is coming, and there's big opportunity. So you can look at, maybe if you are a tech guy, look at being a developer in the space. No AI, how we can combine it with the actual blockchain. So blockchain is here to stay. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. There's practical use cases in this continent, and there's marvelous, tremendous opportunities that people can jump on. You just have to keep your eye open and don't be scared to dive into this space.
Yeah.
It belongs to us. We have to grab it by the neck.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one, because I think most of the youth, they look at this as, they look at cryptos from a perspective of gambling. That's where the mistake comes in. I think they have to look at opportunities that are coming with it, because it's more or less like an industry. And the industry has jobs, has entrepreneurs that can be born out of that industry. They can build products, and those products will have clients, but also users in different layers, be it companies or just people, like physically just exchanging as well with the product that are built from there. So my thinking is there has to be more awareness. Yes. More awareness for the youth to know, one, that crypto is an opportunity, but not from a gambling perspective, but is an opportunity to expand the base from skills, new jobs, new products, and so forth and so on. 100%. But also alternatives of surviving.
100%.
In case local currencies fail, at least you are safeguarded because you're able to transact globally, right? So that's amazing. And I think it's a call. It's a call for the youth to do that. Are you guys doing these information sessions about stable coins, explaining them? Because that engagement with the Tech Tuesday, that was an opportunity for you to explain, and you did explain. But are you doing these sessions and helping people?
So you see, as a company, we do have a dedicated website. It's called Yellow Academy. So at Yellow Academy, it's free. You can access all crypto-related education resources that are free of charge. Everybody can access it. We've seen people benefiting from this quite a lot. We get a lot of feedback from that. So there's from a company's point of view, we are quite also aggressive in trying to sensitize people on this.
Oh, that's good.
Product.
Yes, good. So Yellow Academy, an opportunity. Go learn, build the skills, and engage. Right, that's a good one. Do you also have like a test platforms that people can test using if they can do an account so they can test, they can see how it works without using real money?
So
is this still happening?
No, actually what happens with our app, number one, registration is free of charge. Minimum deposit using mobile money, I think it's 5,000 or it's 5,000 at the moment. So it's, I think for you can put a 5,000 if you want to
try, right?
Yeah, and also let's run away from this wanting to do free thing, because I mean what I'm trying to say is you need to invest in technology, in understanding technology. And I think it's not a big investment for you to try and understand the app. Unfortunately, we don't have a space the way, of course we have but that's for tech, for development, right? But we don't have something that's live. It's the app. It's free of charge. You can download it, register on the app, KYC, try deposit a small amount, see how it works, like at the comfort of your home. It's quite easy and straightforward. And if you meet any issues, we are 100% remote company. We have 24/7 support. We can reach out to us at support@yellowcat.io or any of our verified socials. So we're in Facebook, Twitter, or rather X now. This thing, Instagram. So whenever you message us in those, you can inbox us in those socials as well. We can be able to assist you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I set up my account here. Then I go to Ghana or Zimbabwe. What's happening to my account? Will I be able to deposit from there?
So the account, for security purposes and compliance purposes, they are geo-locked.
Okay.
So if you're a user in Malawi, you can be only able to on and off ramp, deposit and withdraw money from your app in Malawi, right?
Yeah.
But if you have a colleague in Ghana, for example, you can transfer, because like we mentioned, if you've bought 10,000 USDD, you can send it to somebody who's in Ghana.
Yeah.
And then they can off ramp it to you.
Yeah.
Or rather off ramp it on your behalf and then give you the Ghana, they use what? Shilling?
I don't know.
No, Ghana, they use what?
Ghana.
Cedis, yes.
Cedis.
They use cedis, yes.
Cedis.
Cedis.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Because I need to send someone money to Ghana. And we've been trying so many options, so many apps. Nothing was working. I forgot that I had. Okay, let me talk to them. Explore Yellowcat. If I can push money to them using Yellowcat, but I would have to send them through USDT, right? So they have.
Yeah, of course. We also have a solution on the app. It's called YellowPay. Yeah. So with YellowPay, of course, it's going through behind the scenes. There's still the strings of the stable coins or the crypto. Yeah. But what you're seeing on your app is you select YellowPay, you input the amount that you want to say 200,000 kwajas. They would tell you your receiver in Ghana will receive X amount of cedis, and then
that works.
So that's
you don't know how you've solved my problem. I've been trying to send somebody to Ghana for a week now, but it hasn't worked. But this is a good one. Okay, cool. But is there a way, for instance, I moved from Malawi and now I am in a different country? Is there a way that I can talk to support and say, please, can you reconfigure my account because I've moved? Is it possible?
100%. So if you're a Malawian living in Kenya now, you just have to show now there's also a foreign afro KYC process, because there obviously we need the documentation that is allowing you to be in Kenya. That's done. We do that to many of our users as well.
Amazing. Yeah. Anything else that I've forgotten that you need to talk to people? This is an opportunity, free marketing. How do you want to jump into this? This is your camera. Before I give you the last few questions.
No, I think for me, I would say that the crypto space, is an interesting opportunity. Yeah. Not only for individuals, but even for corporates. So mostly we are seeing the adoption in the stable coin space, whereby there's actual practical use cases for the same in our continent, in our market. So if it's a business that's looking to make payment out of Malawi, for example, in China, Dubai, you're able to do that facilitated by the stable coins. If you are wanting to receive funds from elsewhere into Malawi, you are using this technology. It would be at a profitable, I think, compared to other traditional means. So the technology is here to stay. Let's learn. Let's be open to it. I know it's going to take time, especially from a regulatory point of view, but I'm also happy with the traction that has been made so far. So I'm quite interested and curious to see the trends that are going to come, which I'm positive they are going to be great for the common user or for the end user at the end of the day.
Amazing. I promise you that you're gonna do your afternoon lunch. So let me make sure that I clear this. But quick questions for you that you can just answer quickly. What is the most exciting fintech company in Africa right now, other than Yellowcat, that you're just looking at? Like, okay, working, they're doing something.
I'm mostly interested in I think remittances, but I think because I was introduced to this space, so helping people to move money across So yeah, there's quite a many of them that are there, but I think off my head I can just mention cheaper cash.
Cheaper cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Interesting. If you were to choose one, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or stablecoins?
100% stable coins. 100% stable coins.
All right. Cool. And one last question is give me one country you think will lead in terms of crypto adoption in Africa.
I want to say Nigeria because one, it's already way ahead in the adoption of the same. It has many people, but I also want to mention Kenya. So I'll give
countries,
Kenya, because of their they are quite proactive in this, and I mean the mobile money started in Kenya. There's not much difference in terms of regulation and everything of stablecoin of crypto and then the mobile money, I say. And then interestingly enough, I also mentioned our neighbor Zambia. They're also doing quite they seem quite proactive. Yeah. So I'll give you 3 instead of 1.
So Kenya, Nigeria, and Zambia.
Yeah,
I have to go to Zambia, man. I think a lot of activity is happening with our neighbors, and I think there's so much that we have to learn in Zambia. All right, cool, man. So thank you so much for coming through. That's a discussion I wanted to have with you last week. You weren't available.
Yeah.
Up and down. Country manager, jobs.
No, thank you so much for having me. This was quite exciting and interesting. It's good to share and discuss with a fellow fintech enthusiast like yourself.
Yeah. I'm passionate about these things, and I'm excited to see that you come through, and at least we have chopped this. So, guys, until next time, this is Higher Africa. Just to remind you what we stand for. We stand for a couple of things. One, we want to help in building the next network of people that are skilled, that are working in Africa. We believe Africa's talent, and most of the times it's just that we don't use it properly. And Africa is a youth continent. There's a lot of opportunity. So we bring you people like Tikhala who give you this kind of information on what companies they're working for are doing in Africa, so that you can grab these opportunities. We believe in people having skills, people having capacity, so that you can be hired within Africa and support so many initiatives globally or within Africa to grow the continent. So until next time, this is McDonald Nyoni signing out.